I'll be honest, usually I shy away from making videos dedicated to, I guess, talking a lot about drama or a lot about a specific issue, but I'm not opposed to doing it. I've usually mentioned stuff like that on stream, which this is taken again from another stream on my other channel, and I just felt like it needed a good place to live so people can see and hear, like, I really can't defend Borderlands 4 anymore. If it works, it works. It's a good game. I truly believe it is a good game, and it just doesn't stand on good merits just because of the CEO. Like, he just has some issues, which we'll be going over in this video. Once again, I just wanted a good place for this to live. If you are new here and you enjoy the vibes, make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate it, as it does help us to channel on the algorithm, helps me grow and get out there. And I'll catch you in the video. Man, I have got to say, this CEO, man, this CEO just keeps on ruining things for the game. Like, it feels like every time that they're doing something amazing or great, he gotta open his mouth and ruin some shit, bro. Literally straight ruin it. Look at what we got here on the freaking on the timelines. Hold on, let me shrink myself up. Hold up, so you can see what I'm looking at right now. It is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Look at this. This guy, he really gonna sit here. Randy Pitchford, by the way, this is the CEO of Gearbox or whatever for Borderlands. And he's been so since I guess the series has like been a thing, like just in general, right? I move my thing over here. Excuse me. You know, this weather come in really be making my freaking sinuses messed up. I on one hand, I understand that he might have like this emotional investment. He may have this emotional like attachment to his baby, right? Because if I don't know too much of the history, you can let me know in the comments after this video has been live, or if you're watching live right now, you can let me know in the live chat and we could talk about it. I don't know if this is his overall idea, or if he's like the CEO of 2K, or if it's just Gearbox. I think it's just Gearbox. But if this is his baby, if this is his like dream project, similar to how they be acting over there at Bethesda, I could understand how you would want to be a little defensive over your favorite game, over your favorite thing, over your product. I get it. You know, nobody enjoys a bunch of critiques on their things. Who does? But at a certain point, you just got to see things for how it is, right? If you're messing up, you're messing up, and just try to do better. Your community is trying to hold you accountable by telling you your game is unoptimized. Now, have I ran into major issues? No. I'm gaming on the 5070, and you're talking to a creator or gamer that genuinely does not ever really mind using frame gen. Yeah, I feel like the vast majority of people aren't gonna like pay attention to that shit. On the internet, bro, you gonna get flamed. You just gonna get flamed, bro. I'll play devil's advocate, bro. I play a devil's advocate. I get that on a perspective, you need to have your game run fundamentally just good, or at least decent out the box. It just needs to, or have a day one patch that addresses stability, right? If your game is not graphically like Cyberpunk, I keep using that example. If your game isn't like visually looking high tier and high par, there's no point, literally no point for your game outside of crazy shadows and different stuff that could be going on within the open world or whatever. There's no reason why your game shouldn't be optimized. On the other hand, I get what he's saying. Hey, you're playing on old specs, you're trying to push it to higher resolutions. I feel like he's talking to the minority here. He's literally saying, for a campaign shooter looter, which it's looter shooter, by the way, you created the genre. It's looter shooter, not shooter looter. It's an absolute reasonable for developers to focus on default settings, achieving 30 FPS on minimum specs. I disagree. If we're talking PC, I disagree. Minimum specs should be able to reach higher than 30 FPS. PC max or recommended specs, your recommended should be aiming for like 120. Personally, that's how I feel. No matter what game you are, should be aiming for 120. Now, if we talking console, that's what that makes sense for. You're looking at like, yeah, you know, minimum specs being you're gaming on a PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox, you know, like that's what that first statement makes better sense for console gamers. But you talking about PC? Nah, bro, your minimum specs should be 60 and your recommended should be 120 or higher. Because think about this, right? Recommended, usually on Steam anyways, if it shows a recommended spec, it should theoretically say what the recommended resolution is to match these specs. Right? That's what it should be. So if the recommended specs are for 1440 gaming, like 2K, and not 4K, then you're like, bro, 2K recommended specs should be able to hit 120, bro. You just should be able to. I just think this is absurd. The CEO, you need PR training. You need to go and like see, like you got to see the lens in a realistic way. You have fans out here that, first off, you're blessed enough to have fans of a series that you created or that you're piloting, you're leading as the captain of this ship, and you're basically spitting in the face of your fans saying, hey, I know you guys are trying to hold me and the rest of the company accountable. However, you guys just fucking suck. Get better shit. That's basically what you're saying. You suck, get better shit. You can't say that to your customer base. You just can't. Imagine this. If you owned a car dealership and you owning the car dealership, you go out and you say to a customer that came in and he says, I really love this car. This car looks so good. It looks phenomenal. But it kind of looks like it needs an oil change. And you can visibly see the oil is a little dark. It probably does need oil change. You know it needs oil change. And you tell that motherfucking customer, yeah, sorry, bro, kick rocks. You can do the oil change yourself. You trying to sign up this paperwork? Obviously, you in here because you need a car. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's a great analogy for what's going on right now. Your performance in your game, for clearly the majority of your customer base, is saying your oil kind of dirty, bro. We need you to change it before we actually proceed with this transaction. That's all they're saying. That's all they're saying. They're not saying your game is bad. They're not saying your game is broken. They're not saying your game sucks. They're not saying the story's cringy. You fixed all the issues that people had just for you to come up with a new one to just say, yeah, we're using a new engine. Sucks to be you. And this is only like the beginning of what he's saying. He's been going on rants on and on and on and on. I personally fail to see where he comes out on top. Why hasn't anyone above him, stockholders or whoever, just told him, bro, just take a step away, bro, just a quick step away. He was doing so good. Right when the game came out, before the game came out, he made a public apology. Sorry about all the other shit that was going on. I apologize. Blah, 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 blah. But now everybody's like, hey, yo, that day one patch wasn't enough. He's like, nah, fuck y'all again. Like, are you serious? That's all I'm saying. Again, I'm the minority. I am on the internet. I am of the volition that frame gen is fine. DLSS is fine. I get it. It's a tool to help your game run better. However, if we're going to be realistic here, a tool for something does not mean that without that tool, you are not able to run your product, which is kind of why, again, I don't mind using it. However, I think I just have like a really wide range of perspective. I come from constantly playing games on PC, constantly playing games on console growing up, and I've been gaming for the last 5 years on PlayStation 5, PS4 Pro. I've been using PS4, PS3 still, and I've been using a laptop that had a 1660 Ti in it. So yeah, I'm grateful that I was able to get my current PC build with a 5070 and an i7 1400K, 32 gigs of RAM, and 6-7 terabytes of freaking storage and shit, because I'm, you know, I edit and I stream and I do a whole bunch of video stuff, right? I'm the minority. The majority of people are using like, I got lucky. I was able to get new stuff this year. It doesn't matter if he's saying, hey, you guys should be gaming on modern specs, modern things. It doesn't matter when you already put out your minimum and your recommended specs. Minimum and recommended specs. So from that, his whole viewpoint is just skewered because of his first statement alone. It doesn't matter if it's a campaign looter shooter. It doesn't matter if it's a high stakes FPS. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your game is. Baseline across the industry, I don't care who the hell you are, if his mindset is default settings is achieving 30 FPS, go create games for consoles. Don't ever touch PC games again. We don't need it. 30 FPS as a baseline for PC games is fucking astonishing that you could even have that thought. I'm sorry if there's anybody that's younger in the audience that's watching me right now or that will see this video and you're like, damn, he really going off. It's mind-blowing to me. By the way, growing up the entire time, what I would hear from PC gamers: ah, man, you still playing COD on this? Yeah, my shit is reaching 120. Oh, you playing God of War on this? Oh, my shit reaching this FPS. Like, people on PC literally will have a fucking aneurysm over 30 FPS. They will have a fucking stroke over 60 FPS being at your recommended, bro. That should be the bare minimum on PC. No matter what game you are, if it's coming out today, it doesn't matter if it's a shooter, a story-based game, an open world game. I don't give a fuck if that game is revolutionary. If that bitch don't run at 60 as a default setting, you're failing your community, especially if it's on PC. What he said in that first line is good for console. 30 FPS is a baseline for console. Great. People on console are used to it. I can speak from experience. You look at amazing games that are 30 FPS locked, by the way. Dark Souls, locked at 30 FPS. The first Dark Souls 2 and 3, all locked at 30 FPS. Until later patches allowed for higher. Bloodborne, something everybody fucking loves, right? 30 FPS. A lot of these major blockbuster type games, Last of Us, original Last of Us, locked at 30 FPS. We're not saying you can't have amazing experiences at 30 FPS. All of the games I named are 7 years old or older. If it's a modern game coming out, 30 FPS should not be your minimum unless you are on fucking console. It's simple as that. Straight up simple as that. I agree with this statement. Use DLSS. It is great, but people don't want to. People are purists out here, and on top of that, people just don't want to. You can't force your customer base to do anything. I wish that I could force every single person that came across my channel to subscribe and leave a like and leave a very positive comment and then go out along their day and then recommend and bring somebody else to watch my channel. But that's not the reality, right? My channel is built to have community in mind, and it's built to have conversation and just talk and enjoy things. Can't do that. I can't do that. No, sir, can't do that. Not all the time. You know how many times I start a stream or start a video and I say, if you enjoy the vibes, make sure you slide. I worked on that catchphrase. It took a long time. You think about something that's like true to you, it's not too cringy or anything. It's like, if you enjoy the vibes, make sure you slide, subscribe. I really appreciate it, as it does help us to channel on the algorithm, helps me grow and get out there. And as always, looking forward to vibing out with you. Let's vibe, right? That's cool. That's cool. I can't force everybody that hears that to take advantage of the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and for them to be a part of a community and grow it and go out there. You can't force your customer base to do anything. You can't force a community. You can't force an audience to do anything. I understand his statement. I get it. Use DLSS. It's great. Agreed. It is great for me. The game was built to take advantage of it. He's being open and honest about that. That's great. A lot of modern games are. People can feel the way that they want to feel about that. I will say that just because your game is built to take advantage of it doesn't mean that it should be dependent and reliant on being taken advantage of by it. Just because it's built to be taken advantage of by it doesn't mean that it needs to be built around it. Does that make sense? This game is not a competitive FPS. He's saying that to cover his ass, like, hey, you're not going to experience too much latency. This is not a competitive FPS, and I have been led to believe that in a blind test, humans could not detect any input lag. In my own demonstrations and experiments, I believe this true. I also believe that true. However, people cannot be forced in your community and fan base to use a tool if they don't want to. Simple as that. It's simple as that. I can use so many examples and I can continuously say it. It does not matter. It will not matter. It never matters. At the end of the day, if you had a game plan in mind for how the game should run, you could have told everybody that before the game came out, or you could have also said something like, during the first few months, the game is going to be running with DLSS in mind. We are hoping to push through a very ambitious update to fully optimize the entire experience all across the board. We just want to be open about how some performance may still be extremely lacking, and there might be on the low end specs and on the recommended specs, everything should be natively running at around 1 to 120 or something like that. Again, that would be great. His second statement here: everyone has the freedom to believe what they want to believe. I know on the internet it's easy to find rage and passionate people who are convinced of all kinds of things, whether they are true or not. There's nothing to say about that. That's just blatantly true. That's just facts. Everybody does have freedom to believe what they want to on the internet, and it is extremely on the internet to find rage and passionate people about everything. That's true. I guess that's just true for the majority of the part. You know, I can't always say that that's always true, because again, there's plenty of people that come across my channel and they don't stay, because either they don't like me, or they don't like what they're seeing, or how I talk, or how I react to things, or like whatever. Like, they could have any type of way. That's true. I have a perspective that is kind of hard to find people that are passionate in the same extent as I am. Who knows? I'm just a little old guy, right? I guess. If you are so attached to the idea that DLSS is bad for your game experience because of something you saw or read on the internet, I am sorry. I hope you instead you use the technology designed to give you the experience you want. Again, kind of the same as the last statement. Very true. I do get that people are, I kind of feel like this is true for a lot of things. People attach their identity and people attach who they are to other people's critiques, other people's sayings, and they don't experience things for themselves. However, there's a reason for that. Not everybody has money to go get a 40 series card that can support DLSS. You got to remember here, not everybody has the funds to go get themselves a 40 series card. No matter what way you want to try and convince yourself of that, you are out of touch being a rich CEO if you truly believe that everybody, just because, and I say this because he made a tweet. I'd have to go and find it, and I apologize, I didn't pull it up. I know I didn't pull it up, but he had another tweet where he said you can't expect to run your to run games like this on 5 to 7 year old hardware, yet his recommended specs is for a 30 series card, which is 7+ years old. It's 7+ years old. What, like, it is what it is. It's literally 7+ years old. A lot of people aren't upgrading every single GPU. Some people don't upgrade until 3 whole cycles have gone by. We're in 50 series cards. You got people that have 30 series cards that are not going to upgrade until the 60 series cards come out. And then you have people that bought the 20 series cards that upgraded when the 50 series cards came out. So again, it's just like and I say that for, it could be Nvidia, it could be literally any other GPU company out there. I'm just using Nvidia as like you know, just saying like, oh, the 50 series as an easy way to see generational jumps, because the naming is pretty streamlined and blah blah blah, right? That's just unrealistic. Not everybody even has access to DLSS. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I know this was not the ideal typical gameplay, first impressions, revisiting type of video that I usually do on the channel, but I just felt like I should talk about it because it's my channel and it's something that I really felt passionate to talk about. And if you feel similarly to me, where maybe you don't really mind the use of DLSS in frame gen, but your main issue is the fact that a game is kind of crutched by the necessity of using it, let me know down in the comments below. And if you disagree, I would like to have a healthy discussion in the comments below as well. Stay safe out there. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.